Oh my God. Oh my God, I feel sick. I feel sick. The lengths that some people will go to just to be relevant, to use the fact of a young man who died trying to pretend that they've got this fantastic relationship with his mother, but they know something, but they can't tell us yet. And then his mother comes out and says, oh no, no. If you've got something to say it. You've started all the conspiracy theories up again. You're a twonk. I tell you, don't mess with a mother, a grieving mother at that. I feel sick. Let's chat. When I find the introduction video. Oh my God, I feel sick. So I've just finished work. Now, I already knew, that's why I programmed the live. Sort of about 2 hours ago, I heard this news that Debbie, poor Debbie, Jay's mum, has come out and attacked Mark Williams Thomas after that ridiculous video that he made yesterday, you know, trying to pretend he had privileged information. He had things to tell us, but not yet. The time wasn't right yet. And then it was all a preparation, wasn't it, to talk about some other case that is supposed to be following someone out in Borneo or some dangerous country. And, you know, when I saw that she's come out and really moaned at him for did he think, you know, I've got this horrible feeling that Mark Williams Thomas thinks that everybody's stupid or something. You know, that these families that he pretends to care about, these families that he pretends to be doing it all for them. You know, who does he remind me of? Him and PF, they're like, well, I've always said they're like brothers from another mother. They work in tandem. Everything they do. And they always say, oh, you know, out of respect for the family, I just want to give my respect to the family. Oh, it's all about my respect to the family, but I'm just going to throw out these sonar images of their dead daughter in the river. But it's all, you know, but I'm only thinking about the family. Oh, but I'm just going to give out all these sort of possible conspiracy theories about what might have happened to Jay because I'm in a privileged position. And I know this, and I've been in contact with them. And, oh, you know, I tell you what, the Spanish police won't have told him anything. They won't have told anybody anything. I said all this yesterday when we looked at this video. And now Debbie, good for her, has come out and said, if you've got something to say it. Say it. Don't keep us all hanging on. This is Jay's mother who's been forced to come out and say this. She's grieving the loss of her son. And she's had to come out again. It's all coming out all over again because he just was concerned about his own relevance. Anyway, he's now issued another video, an update video. Oh my God. I've recorded both the videos he made now, the one he made yesterday and the one he's just made, because I think these videos are going to disappear somehow because he's getting a massive backlash. As we speak on his Instagram and probably on his Twitter or whatever his social media, he's getting a massive backlash because, and so he deserves to. So he deserves to get a massive backlash. Imagine if it was a member of your family. He insinuated in that video that he released yesterday that he'd been talking to Debbie. They've been talking, they'd had long conversations. You know, he really likes Debbie. They get on really well. Blah-de, 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 blah-de. And then turns out, no, that's a load of rubbish, because Debbie herself now has come out and spoke against him. So he's made a big mistake here, because he's messing around with a mother, you know, and a mother who's angry about the death of her son and doesn't, you know, and grieving and sad and doesn't know, you know, he's come over as a friend, or, you know, somebody who can help, can solve the case in 2 days. That's what he said, wasn't it? And now he's come out and said all this, done all this. I just feel sick. I feel sick, sorry. And I'm actually even got the wine out tonight. So I literally have just finished work. I've got another live, because of course, another twonk that I'm going to talk about is, of course, later I'm going to tell you about what's happened in the last, in the trial of Sarah Sharif's parents and uncle. And that made me, I've had a day where I'm getting angry listening to the 999 call, you know, seeing the note that he left, you know, all these things. What's wrong with these twonks? Why do people have to be so horrible, you know, just generally? Anyway, exactly. Well, I was making a joke, Paul. I was making a joke. I'm impersonating Debbie. That's how she felt. I feel sick. Well, I feel sick now. Anyway, I'm going to just say hello quickly to everyone, and then we're going to have a look to see what Debbie's had to say. Hey, hi, BF. You were first. I don't know what's happened to his forehead. Maybe it's worry about how he's going to, you know, stay relevant. Hi, Laurie. Hi, Kelly. You know, I don't feel bad about being horrible about Mark William Thomas, because he's horrible about everybody, isn't he? Hi, Chumba. Hi, David. Hi, Lorna. Hi, Daniel. Hi, Heather. Hi, Silver Cents. Hi, Walker. I'm going dizzy, going down. I've been on this computer all day. My head's like, where's my glasses? Where's my computer glass? They're right. These are supposed to help with the glare of the computer. I don't know if they do or not, but I've been on the computer too much today. Hi, Paul. Hi, Craig. Hi, Laurie. Okay, so let's, right. Well, I'm just thinking, what do we do first? Shall we refresh our memory about what he said yesterday? Hi, Phantom Witch. I don't know whether we should do that or refresh our memory about what he said yesterday, but anyway, I think I'll just tell you what he said yesterday. So yesterday he said, didn't he? We watched it anyway. It's on a video. We watched the video. He said he'd been in touch with Debbie. He had all this information. He was in a unique position, and it wasn't, the time wasn't right to tell all this information just yet. When the time was right, he would tell this information. He was in regular touch with, he'd been in touch with Debbie. They got on really well. You know, he's got this exclusive attention of the family, blah de blah de blah. So I wonder how he felt then when Debbie came out and said, no, actually, say it or stay out of it. Say or stay out of it. Jay Slater's mum hits out at TV detective. You know, of course, he always makes out he's not social media. He's not an armchair detective. Of course he isn't. He's, you know, proper detective, isn't he? He's proper. But of course he isn't. And he claimed to know the real reason he left the Airbnb. Jay Slater's mum has hit out at TV detective after he claimed to know the real reason her son left an Airbnb just hours before his death. This boy died. This boy. Her boy. Her boy. Not my boy, not your boy, not Mark Williams Twonk's boy. This is Debbie's boy and Warren's boy. And he died. Whatever his background was, whatever people come out with, in my opinion, mad things that they think happened and didn't happen. He died. That's the main thing. And he's her son. And he was 19 years old. And she's been through hell because she's been accused of this, that, and the other. On top of losing her son, you know, she's received internet hate, you know, unbearable internet hate that she's received. And she's had to put up with all that. And now Mark Williams Twonk comes along, pretending to be a real detective and be respectable and be this, that, and the other. And he doesn't care about her. He doesn't care about Jay. He had to come out and make that video. Why did he make that video? You know, both of Jay's parents had said that they wanted things to stop, you know, and they didn't want all this conspiracy theory, etc. And he still came out and did that. You know, he's abominable. Honest to God, there's, you know, I just think there is no lower. I thought, you know, you always think, oh God, no, people can't get any lower. He's just got lower than low because he came out and did that video, but he underestimated how angry Debbie would be because what did he think? She just sort of, you know, even though it wasn't true, she'd just agree. This is her son, nobody else's son. Why, you know, it's not, you know, we can only, you know, we've cared about where Jay was from day one, you know, when he went missing. I covered this case because Jay just reminds me of my son or some of my nephews because I come from a similar sort of part of the world. And just, but straight from the beginning, I thought that it'd come, you know, unfortunately, it was an accident, though I must admit from the beginning, I thought he would be found within a couple of days. I thought he's got lost. He may have hurt himself or whatever, but they'll find him. I really thought they would find him, but I didn't realise just how that terrain was. Once you saw the terrain, it was just like, and that's what his dad said, Warren, wasn't it, when he went there? He said, I hope somebody has brought my son down off this mountain. He's almost hoping that he'd been kidnapped because it was better, because he knew that if he was still up on that mountain, he was unlikely to still be alive. So Jay Slater's mum has hit out at a TV detective after he claimed to know the real reason her son left an Airbnb. So the apprentice bricklayer from Oswald Twistle, for any of you who don't know this story, vanished on a 3-day holiday for a music festival with friends. His body was found after a month-long search just a few meters from his last known location. And former police, so they keep saying former police officer, but you know what? Why did he leave the police? Why is it not, you know, it's all very mysterious why he left the police, isn't it? He was probably trying to blackmail people in the police. He's got a history of blackmail. He's got a long history of blackmail. So former police officer turned TV investigator Mark Williams Thomas has since claimed an answer on how Jay came to be lost in the mountainous Tenerife area could be revealed soon. That's what he said in that video yesterday. I mean, we watched it on Instagram, but he posts the same on X as he does on Instagram. So in a post to X, formerly Twitter, he said, maybe when the time is right, I will reveal those. Now, could you imagine if that was your son? You're sat at home, you know, grieving for your son, your 19-year-old son who you're never going to see again, that you had to bring home from a foreign country in a body bag. You're grieving, and then you see this. He's on bloody social media saying he knows something that nobody else knows, and when the time is right, he'll reveal it. Could you imagine how that would feel? I've got to be very careful. What I don't want to do is upset the family with any more trauma. As if he even cares. As if he even cares about the family. Because if he cared about the family, what would he have done? He would have spoken to Debbie before he made this video, and he would have said, well, he wouldn't be saying this for a start. He wouldn't be insinuating knowing something that even she doesn't know, his own mother. But he would have spoken to Debbie, and he would have said, do you mind if I do this video? I'm going to talk about my experiences what I know about your son. Wouldn't he have asked her about that? You know, or Warren, or both of them. How did he think that he could? Does he just think people are totally stupid? Honestly, sometimes I think he thinks that the families of these victims, he's got such little respect for them. He doesn't think that they'll even notice what he's doing or whatever. I don't know. So he said, I've got to be very careful. What I don't want to do is upset the family with any more trauma than they already had. So it would be something I would work very closely with Debbie and the family to reveal that information. So he's saying that as if he's got Debbie's permission. You know, Debbie's okay to come out and say this. Well, seems like he hasn't. I can't play this on here, I don't think, because he's banned me on Twitter, but I can watch it on Instagram. So Jay's mother, Debbie, responded to the video claiming Mr. Williams Thomas was seeking publicity over her son's death. I'm so glad that Debbie has come out and said that, because, you know, we've all been well, I've certainly been saying it for ages. And, you know, you get some people who'll say, oh, no, you know, he's a really respectable detective and all this rubbish. But you know what? I've got a good judge of character, and both him and Peter, there's something about what they're doing. It's not about, it's nothing to do with the families. It's nothing to do with that. It's all about them, their egos, their reputations, their publicity. It's nothing to do with empathy for these families. And so Debbie said his comments had sparked more comments from trolls. If he knows something, I wish he would say it. Otherwise, people will think it's just publicity and it's not doing me any good, she told Mail Online. I'm still in bits here. I'm having counselling and it doesn't get any easier. I couldn't sleep at all last night because after he posted what he did on his social media, it just kicked off again, all the trolls. Losing Jay was hard enough, but then having to read what some people are writing is torture. I'm not good really, and I would be lying if I said I was all right. The last few hours have just been awful. What he said has knocked me back a million steps. I just wish he would say what he knows or just stay out of it. If you know something, say it, Mark. You know, tell the police. The police are the people that should know. You know, he's lucky he's not in Spain, because I think the Guardia would be going around his house knocking on his door for the things he's saying. He's lucky that he's not in Spain making these insinuations. What he said has knocked me back a million steps. I just wish he would say what he knows or just stay out of it. We last spoke a few weeks ago briefly because I wanted to clear some things up. It was nothing untoward. I just wanted to refresh my brain because I couldn't remember much from the first couple of weeks. You saw what I was like. I had just lost the plot. My son was missing and I just wanted to find him. There was really nothing new. I just wanted to go over some things. And he said, if I remembered anything, to give me a call. And that was it. And now it's all over the news again and it's really knocked me. I thought for a second he might have something, but now I'm thinking it might just be a PR stunt. Debbie, it is just a PR stunt. You know, the thing is, you wish you could warn these people, but when someone's desperate to find their child, they're going to take any help they're given, aren't they? All it's done now, it's got the bloody TikTokers back, and they have never really stopped, which is even sadder. I try to avoid it, but then I think I'll just have a little look. It's so hard not to look, I would imagine. Now, the other thing you've got to remember, Debbie's life will be empty now, you know, to a great extent. Jay lived with her. You know, we sort of, we all get upset about these cases, but they're not our loved ones. Doesn't affect, you know, we don't wake up in the morning and our son isn't there, you know, that has been there, that we've lived with. All the things that she said in her interviews about him cooking and chopping up the garlic, and they seem to have a really good relationship. Every morning when Debbie wakes up, she must feel like she wishes she could just wake up out of this nightmare, and it'd all go back to before he went to Tenerife. And, you know, he was there with her. She must be every day. Well, you know what it's like. There's probably a lot of us here that we maybe not experienced exactly this, but bereavement of some kind. And that morning, you know, you wake up and it's just like, is it a dream? And then you realize, no, it's not a dream. It's really happened, and you have to get up and get on with life. That's how it'll be for Debbie. You know, she's not moving on to another case or talking about something else, or, you know, whatever. This is her life. I didn't sleep last night and I'm going through enough as it is. He's put it on his socials, but he hasn't backed it up. If he knows anything, he should say. There's a lot of people saying, what's he got? What's he found? So that's why I'm saying if he has anything, he should. There's only one person who really knows what happened, and he's not here to tell us what happened. That's why everything is just speculation. I still think, speaking to his friends at the time, Jay just wanted to carry on partying and he left. But like I say, there's only one person who knows, and she means Jay, of course. Although I'd like to know more from the guy who was at the Airbnb. I'm sure she'd like to talk to, I wish Ajub, or what is it, Ajub, his name? I wish he would contact her, or maybe if she would contact him, not with Mark Williams Thomas involved, just, you know, as a mother to the last person who saw him, probably, or spoke to him or whatever. No, Jay knows what happened. I feel that Jay had an accident. I know not everybody feels that. Everyone's entitled to their view, as long as they're not nasty to Debbie on my channel, as long as you're not horrible to the parents. You know, you have your views, you can have your views, but I don't agree with any of that. Jay had an accident. We don't know why he went back to the Airbnb. Young people do things that you can't. How many things have you done when you were young that you look back now and you think, why did I do that? Do you know, he didn't do it because he was in a sensible mood. He did it because he was high as a kite, because he'd been partying for 3 days, drinking, taking God knows what. He didn't go back there in a sound, reasonable mind. You do things like that. And then he thought, you know, he just, unfortunately, it was a tragic accident, in my view, anyway. So we're going to have a look at the video. Where am I going? Hang on. We're going to have a look at the video. So Mark now, instead of even just shutting up, or, you know, coming on and apologising to, why did he not come on and apologise for what he'd said? Oh, no. He hasn't apologised. He hasn't said anything to apologise. He's come back on, made another. Oh, right, wait till you see this. Because honest to God, I was even more open-mouthed seeing what Mark Williams Twonk has now come out and said. That's why I've recorded it, because I don't think it's going to stay up, that video, because he's getting a massive backlash from it. Right, so let's have a look at this video. I haven't edited it. I haven't had time to edit it yet. So
they've done more investigation than I have. They know.
So this is Mark's response. Okay. Just wait, honest to God, this man, he's not even apologising to Debbie for what he's said or what he's done or anything. He's honest to God. Just gets worse. Just when you think it can't get any worse, it does.
So much inaccurate reporting, both in terms of the newspapers, but specifically online. People who, of course, think they know the answer.
So much inaccurate reporting from even from newspapers, but people who think they know. People who think they know more than him. How dare we think that we might know more than him? We don't know more than him. We know exactly what he knows. He doesn't know any more than us, but he's always trying to say he does.
Answers. They've done more investigation than I have. They know everything. Well, the reality is I've spoken to everybody bar one person, and at every stage I kept Debbie and the family updated.
Well, the reality is I spoke to everyone except for one person. I've kept the family updated. You know, he's so ungracious. So he's not saying, well, why is he even, first of all, why is he coming on social media to say this? Why didn't, see now he's so pally with Debbie, according to him. Why wasn't the first thing he did was got on the phone to Debbie and say, oh, I'm so sorry. I should never have made that video. I'm going to take it down. Why was that not the first thing that he did? I'm sorry, Debbie, I didn't mean to offend you. If I would have known that it would have upset you so much, if I would have known blah, de, blah, de, blah, I'll take it down. No. Oh, no, he's not doing that. He's coming back on social media. Instead of speaking to Debbie directly like a normal person would. You know, and he's awful. Honest to God, this is worse than awful. You know, I'm speechless.
I've spoken to Debbie in detail at the beginning of October. I spoke to her again yesterday. I spoke to her again today. There is no issue between Debbie and I. Have huge respect for her.
There's no issue between us. Well, wait till I show you some of the other things that the newspaper articles. I mean, they're all more or less the same thing. That's not what Debbie says, Mark. You know, that's not what Debbie says. And Debbie is Jay's mum. You are nobody. I'm nobody in this case. This is nothing, you know, you are nobody. Jay is not your son. Jay is Debbie and Warren's son and Zach's brother. He's not, you are nobody in this. You're just someone who tried to jump on the bandwagon like you always do and tried to make yourself more important than you really are, that you had more knowledge than you really did. You kicked off 1 million conspiracy theories by all the rubbish that you spoke, and now you're still doing it. You haven't even got the grace to just take your videos down and be quiet.
And the family who have been through the most horrific situation, not just losing their child, but also having to go through all of that media coverage. They were in the spotlight.
Honestly, God, la cara. I want to speak Spanish because the cheek of it, la cara. You know, just, you know, look what they've had to go through, all this media spotlight that he has caused. Most of it. And he's doing it again. He had to come on. I mean, he's getting a massive backlash on the comments on this. I presume his Twitter is the same. I think he's made a big mistake here, Mark. I mean, he'll get a lot of publicity from it, but it's not the best publicity. You know what? His reputation, like somebody else's, is in tatters. And it gets worse every time they come on and try and mislead people again, people who did think that they could be trusted, people who did think they were reputable. Now they're just, I really think the trouble with him and his best mate, they've been around for so long, but it's different now. People have their own thoughts now with social media. They don't have to just believe what the BBC tells them or the Daily Mail tells them. They can read the Daily Mail, they can read all the different papers, but they do not have to just believe what Mark Williams-Thomas says or somebody else who says he's a sonar expert, which really he isn't. You know, I mean, oh God, just some of the things I've been reading again and videos watching again about him. He's a self-professed expert in everything. And, you know, he's just such a braggart. They're braggarts. It's all about their egos. Now, that might have worked years ago, but it won't work now. What? Yeah, I'm proud of Debbie as well, BF. Oh, so let's just listen to this. Let me know what he's posted.
Not just on a national, but on an international level. So huge respect for them. Let's just consider, before we post something,
before we post something, let's consider. Says him. Honest to God, the pure hypocrisy of it and the lack of grace and the lack of just admitting that what he did was wrong, to insinuate that he knew more than Debbie even knew, to insinuate that was wrong. Why won't he just admit it? Take his videos down.
Saying and what the impact is on the family. But the reality is no issue between Debbie and I. Huge respect, and I'll be there to continue to support her as the days go forward, and of course the next.
Oh yes, I'll be there to continue to support her, even though his tone of voice is irreverent, isn't it? His tone, yes, I'll be there to support her. You know, oh God, yeah, I missed the bleeding fantastic. Just honestly, sorry, I'm getting angry. I'll probably end up having to take this video down, but he is just so irritating. You know, how dare he? How dare he? What that family had been through, and it was all just calming down, apart from a few lunatic YouTubers who are still saying ridiculous things. It was calming down. And, you know, Debbie's got to somehow, and it's harder for Debbie because, you know, maybe I shouldn't say that. I'm sure it's just as hard for Warren. You can see how upset Warren is. But he has a partner. Debbie doesn't have a partner as far as I know. So, and Jay lived with Debbie. So that's a loss that she's going to feel more, because every morning when she wakes up and he's not in his bedroom, you know, that's like, it is more intense. And also, I think Debbie took the most hate. You know, when it was all going on, all the hate and the accusations were all revolved around Debbie. Now, you know, if you watch my channel, no, you never heard that on my channel, ever. I've never, ever had anything bad to say against Debbie or the family or anything. You know, I just felt for her right from the word go. You know, to the thought of your son or daughter, or, you know, going off on holiday for the first time alone and then going missing, and you had to go to a foreign country where you don't speak the language, and try and cope with a police force, which, although they are good, but they operate differently. You know, all that they had to put up with, that they had to go through for a month. You know, and then bring your son's remains home in a body bag. God, this guy is bad.
Next stage for them will be an inquest at a very difficult time for them. Post again in relation to Jay Slater, but I really think that I've just got to say a couple of things. There's been so much inaccurate reporting, both in terms of newspapers.
Been so much inaccurate reporting, Mark, hasn't there? I wonder who caused all that. Wonder who started all that off.
But specifically online, people who, of course, think they know the answers, they've done more investigation than I have, they know everything. Well, the reality is I've spoken to everybody bar one person, and at every stage I kept Debbie and the family updated. I've spoken to Debbie in detail at the beginning of October.
He's such an arrogant twonk, isn't he? Because where's the apology? Where is the apology? Where's the grace? I don't know. I have no words for this man. It's got to a point where I just have no words for him. Initially, he just bugged me because of saying that Oscar Pistorius wasn't guilty. That's when I turned against him. That's when he blocked me on everything because I dared challenge, say, well, Oscar Pistorius. He was found guilty. He was prosecuted, so he wasn't not guilty, Mark. Good God. So that's what started sort of me seeing him for what he was. And it just made, because before that, I've seen him on things and not really had any thoughts about him one way or another. So, hey, Seffi. Well, he's released this new video. I don't know. You'll have to catch up. I can't go through it all again. So I've got another live to do shortly. But basically, he's just been his usual twonk self.
I spoke to her again yesterday. I spoke to her again today. There is no issue between Debbie and I. Have huge respect for her and the family who have been through the most horrific situation, not just losing their child, but also having to go through all of that media coverage. They were in the spotlight, not just on the national, but on international level. So huge respect for them. Let's just consider, before we post something, what we're saying and what the impact is on the family. But the reality is, no issue between Debbie and I.
So yeah, anyone who's coming in late, you have to, if you don't know what's transpired, which basically is this twonk saying yesterday that he had more information about the Jay Slater case, but he couldn't talk about it now. Now Debbie, Jay's mum, has come out and said, well, if he's got something to say, he should just say it. And he was saying, he's been having this great relationship with Debbie, Jay's mum, and they've been in conversation, blah, 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 blah. And now she's saying they had one brief conversation, and now he's coming out with all this crap. Could you imagine, Craig? I tell you what, do you imagine? They have got, they've got to be banned. They've got to be banned. He was at that interview we watched in one video. He was saying that he puts tracking devices on cars. When it's illegal for him to do it. He's not a policeman. He's not a detective. He's just a gonzo journalist, just like everybody else. He's not got the right to put tracking devices on cars or put listening devices in Amazon packages. Have you had anything from Amazon lately? Better hope that bloody Mark Williams Thomas has not put a listening device in it. Disgusting. He's disgusting. And just horrible. Horrible man. And he needs to leave that family alone.
Huge respect, and I'll be there to continue to support her as the days go forward. And of course, the next stage for them will be an inquest, a very difficult time for them. Post again in relation.
They keep saying what a difficult time it is for them, but it's him who's made it more difficult. It was him who brought up the rumour about the watch and the this, that, and the other. It's him. It's him. He has caused, Debbie, when her son went missing, and she wouldn't have even known what planet she was on. So, it's just, he's horrible man. So anyway, I've got to go now because I've got to talk about another twonk in a minute because we're going to talk about Sarah Sharif and day 3. And we're going to listen to the 999 call. I think just before we finish, though, I'm going to have a little look at the Daily Mail, what Debbie had to say. For the simple reason is the Daily Mail, or is it the Sun? Who is it that normally uses... I don't know why that came up with Debbie Harry when I was trying to put in the Daily Mail. Yeah, who is it that normally pays him for stories? I think it might be the Sun, actually, is it? So, yeah, let's have a look. He's all over all the papers. Maybe that's what he wanted. Maybe he just wanted the attention, the publicity, because he's got another case coming up, hasn't he? He's found this other person in some dangerous country. Yeah, so she said, so according to this is the story in the Daily Mail, the same story. She's told her, she slammed TV sleuth Mark Williams Thomas for seeking publicity over her son's death and told him to reveal what he knows after claiming he knows the real reason why the teenager left a Tenerife Airbnb. And it's right, if he knows it, come out and say it. That's a simple answer to all this. If he knows the reason why Jay left the Airbnb, just say it, Mark. Just say it. You know, and there is this sort of debate about why he went there and Ayub and all that. There'll always be a debate about that. But, you know, I think what also people have got to remember, I find it offensive that people think that the Spanish police wouldn't investigate that if they thought there was that there'd been some you know, bad thing that had happened in that house or whatever, or some reason to think that there was foul play. Do you think the Spanish police are so stupid? They're not PC plot. They're brilliant. They're good at investigations. They're not rubbish. You know, it's not like, you know, they're good. They're a good police force and they're good at investigating things. So why would they not have investigated it? Anyway, so remember, he said within days, because remember, as soon as he knew the GoFundMe was going up, he was straight there saying, oh, I can offer my services. I just want full disclosure. I expect he had his expenses paid. He said he would get answers within 72 hours, didn't he? And then he did get answers. He got all these different answers that all added up to conspiracy theories. And now all the conspiracy theorists, they won't let it go. They won't let it go, you know, because those theories will always be there. And, you know, people like talking about rubbish sometimes, don't they? So he's refused to go into details. And that's where we are. So, see, amongst the vicious rumours circulating, included wild claims Jay had been targeted by a criminal cartel on the island. Oh my God! Anyway, I'm not even commenting on those things, because if people want to believe the things that people have said, that's up to them. But I don't believe any of it. For allegedly stealing a watch from a guy. That watch was blown out of all proportion. Anyway, never mind. So I've got nothing more to say about it, except Mark Williams Thomas, he should go on and take off all those videos. He should just leave Debbie alone, leave this case alone. He's using it to highlight other cases he wants to talk about. You know, there's an inquest coming up, a British inquest. We'll see what happens there. You know, just because an inquest doesn't give the result that you want doesn't mean that it's not true. I mean, I believe what the Spanish found, that his injuries were consistent to falling into that ravine. And if somebody thinks he was dropped from a helicopter, or, oh God, I've seen all sorts of people say all sorts of things, you know, or that somehow somebody got into that area and managed to push him in and then find their way out without getting any injuries or anything. If somebody really thinks somebody could do that, you know, I don't understand how people could believe that. So I'm going now, because I'm going to, unfortunately, come back in about, in fact, I should be back on now. I'm coming straight back on a live, but I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk about Sarah Sharif. And when I'm talking about Sarah and her case, I won't be talking about this twonk. because, and I don't mean Jay by that, I mean Mark Williams' twonk, because I want to give Sarah's case the attention it deserves. So I'm going to come off this now. I'm going to go on to the other live, but I'm going to talk about the trial of Sarah's parents. I'm not going to talk about this on there. Okay, so thank you for watching. Hi Annie and goodbye, or come over to the other live that I'm going to start in a minute. Okay, so I'll see you really soon, very soon, in about 5 minutes. I'm just going to get another glass of wine, probably, mind you, actually. Look at that, I got a glass of wine, I haven't drunk any of it because I've been too busy ranting. But anyway, I'm just going to probably go for a bathroom break, and I'll be back in a minute. So thanks for being here. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to leave your fingerprint on the like button. And I'll see you really soon in the next video. Very, very soon. 5 minutes, maybe 10. Adios.